Hi and welcome to this new episode of China Tools, a series of videos where we put woodworking tools from China to the test. My name is Dennis and I am from Hooked on Wood. And in this video I want to show you many products, some cool new products like this holder for the Hongdui tea ruler, which also came in a smaller size. Another product from Hongdui, a pocket hole jig you can clamp from the front like the Crack 720, and hopefully improved versions of products that I tested before. So let's not waste any time, here we go. This is my reference jig for placing hinges, and I reviewed it in episode 35 and rated it 5 stars. And I think it's the most convenient hinge jig on the market and much better than the plastic alternatives. Although I did not mention it in the video, a problem with every hinge jig is the mess and dust it creates when using a Forstner bit. And luckily Enjoywood did not take it for granted and developed a new improved version of this hinge jig. And although my former reference is near perfect, they still found multiple points to improve it. So let's discover if this will be my new reference hinge jig. First I want to address the fact that a hinge jig is not a necessary tool. It is not that complex to do and you will be able to place hinges even without a jig. But when you want to do it consistently, especially when a door needs 2 or 3 hinges, you need different tools to make it work. So a hinge jig is a luxury tool that takes out all the guesswork and makes the process so much easier and almost impossible to do wrong. And the platform looks very clean and adjusting the different settings is easy. It is undoubtedly more sophisticated than the plastic versions on the market. And you notice this when you work with it. The drill guide is sturdy because of its material and has only 2 bridges. And besides that, the guide has 2 bearings, so the Forstner bit will run smoothly. Where the plastic version has 3 bridges and has no bearings. And this makes a big difference when you work with them. The plastic version gets clogged quickly, making this process very annoying to the point where I think it's just a wrong design. When you take cleaning into account, using this jig will take much longer than doing it without. A 2-bridge design allows dust and chips to escape, speeding up this process and making it much more convenient to work with. However, the biggest disadvantage is still a mess a 35mm Forstner bit creates. So with this Enjoywood version you can attach a 35mm dust hose and this works perfectly. And the difference between using your dust extractor or not is simply huge. It takes away 90% of the chips, but besides that the fine dust is practically eliminated. There's no smell of fine dust when you work with this version. So this feature alone makes it my new reference hinge jig already. But that is not all. After you clamp this jig in place, you attach the drill guide. And with the Gweike Co2 version, drilling is somewhat unstable, although I did not have issues with it. This Enjoywood version locks the platform in place, eliminating these instabilities. And now it's stable enough to hold your drilling machine, and second, you do not have to hold it while drilling, which gives better stability and the cleanest cut you can get. And the last change is that they add another dimension for pre-drilling the mounting screws. So there are 4 different places now and it will probably work with all available brands of concealed hinges. And further there is a skill on the front and I do not see the benefits directly, but maybe this will come when I use it a bit more. Ultimately I was very happy with the Gweike Co2 version, but I must admit that the changes to this model make it even better. And it is not only the most comfortable hinge jig you can get, but because of the effective dust extraction it also works much faster and healthier. And this hinge jig is currently for sale for just $45. And for that price it includes all the necessary accessories, including a high quality Forstner bit. So it deserves the best score I can give. And this is my scoring card. A pocket hole jig is a very nice product and my current reference is the Enjoywood pocket hole jig. It's still a lovely product that is very convenient, has good quality and has a perfect price-quality ratio. But what is interesting about this pocket hole jig is that, like the Gweike 720, you can clamp it from the front side of your pocket hole jig. In other words, you do not have to reach over your workpiece to secure it. And this can be especially useful with larger workpieces. So I was curious if it could challenge my reference pocket hole jig, so I asked if I could have one for a review. It costs $65, so that will be a great price when it can impress me. Unfortunately, however, although the pocket hole jig is made from aluminum, the fit and finish are not great. It looks a bit underwhelming, and I was certainly not impressed when I opened the box. The packaging could have been better, although some protection was provided to prevent it during shipment. And I cannot say the mechanism they created to operate the clamping from the front is not up to its task, but it is made quite clumsy. Again, it has a bad fit and finish, and there is little to be enthusiastic about. This product needs to catch up on so many points that a full review became a waste of time. So to summarize, I cannot recommend this product. So this pocket hole jig is still my reference, and I reviewed it in episode 37 and the Pro version in episode 44. And I want to highlight it again because it's now on sale for under $50 in Europe and even lower in the US. So if you are searching for a good pocket hole jig, this is it. And I have had more pocket hole jigs, mainly because companies send them to me. I have the Gweike 720, the Gweike Foreman, and I even have this high-end Castle pocket hole jig. But this is a very expensive tool and only interesting for a specific group. But I will do a review at least this year because it will create the nicest pocket hole you have ever seen. But I keep coming back to my Enjoywood pocket hole jig. Regardless of price, it's one of the most convenient pocket hole jigs I work with. And the base version has an excellent price-quality ratio. And the Pro version has an extended base, which works perfect, but you can make it even better by creating a base yourself. So let me explain why this pocket hole jig is so convenient. The most important part is the clamping mechanism. It is so good and clamps so smoothly, making it a very convenient experience. It is the cleanest pocket hole jig I worked with. It is possible to drill holes without dust or chips. And although my Gweike has an impressive dust part, it still does not reach the level of this Enjoywood. And every pocket hole jig needs a base. And although I mostly choose the hard way, it is easy to mount it on a simple base yourself. It has 3 guide bushings, making it suitable for face framing and larger workpieces. And the guide bushings are of good quality and are very thick. And lastly, you can use it without its base, making it very flexible. But it also does this with dust control. And I rated this pocket hole jig 4.5 stars in that episode. But I explained that the only reason was the price, which was about $70 at that time. But now it is on sale for under $50, which makes it an absolute steal. And that is why I will upgrade it to a 5-star rating. And I want to return to the coping sled I showed you in the last episode. The coping sled has been a hit with my viewers. It's been selling fast and the first reactions were very positive. So I'm particularly thankful you found my opinion accurate. But I also got some questions about this coping sled that I want to address in this video. When you use your router on solid wood, there will be splinters where the router bit leaves your workpiece. So to prevent this from happening, you can use a sacrificial fence. And I did not show that in the video, but of course that does not mean it is impossible. In fact, because of the flexibility of the clamping system, a sacrificial fence is very well suited to use. And besides that, this coping sled has one of the largest platforms, so you can use it even with more extended workpieces. So when you are interested in a coping sled, watch my former video. It's currently the most versatile coping sled on the market and you can do things with it that are impossible with other coping sleds. And because we keep the design simple, it costs half of comparable quality alternatives. So to summarize, it's a great tool to expand the possibilities of your router table and it is the safest tool to use on short edges of your workpiece. Question I get a lot is, do you have some merchandising? And my answer is always no. That is, until today. And I tried over 10 coffee mugs before I could decide which one was worthy enough to carry my logo. And it's a very nice coffee mug with which you can show that you not only like my channel, but you're also simply hooked on wood. And to be honest, it's not the best coffee mug for keeping coffee hot for a long period of time. It did not even perform the best in my leaking test, so do not buy it for that. But there was one area in which it scored above all others, and that was the taste of the coffee. And when you want to use this coffee mug for 2 or 3 cups of coffee during a stay in your workshop for the next 3 hours and support my channel at the same time, this is a lovely product you will enjoy. And the same counts for these lovely huge water bottles for the necessary hydration. They are very popular at the moment, and with my logo on it, I think they're really hard to resist. And I choose to offer them through Banggood, because it would be a shame to ship them first to my house and then to yours. And one way or the other, I could not offer them for the same money as I can do now. So it's just for fun, and when you like it, enjoy it, and thank you for supporting my channel. Those who follow my channel know that this high quality tea ruler is the first item carrying my logo. And it's not only the best looking tea ruler on the market, but it's also a practical combination tea ruler, and the drill guides and the drawing modules are very convenient, and you can also use it to draw circles. And if you want to know more about this tea ruler, watch episode 51. I will show you in depth why it is a fantastic tea ruler. And multiple lengths are very practical for a tea ruler, so this amazing tea ruler is now also available in a smaller version. And it is basically the same as its bigger brother, but it measures 400 mm and only has 1 drawing module and 1 drill guide module, where the bigger version has 2 of each. And the drill guide modules come with a 3, 4, 5 and 6 mm guides. And you do not want to use a too large tea ruler on a smaller workpiece. So if you want to stay in this luxury and high quality ruler line, you now have an extra choice for when its bigger brother is simply too large. And when I compare it to the 600 mm version, I must admit that this ruler's features are better suited for the bigger version. Because the tea ruler is smaller, you cannot use it to draw big circles, and for these smaller circles there are more affordable and straightforward alternatives. That said, the line and drill modules are still very convenient at the smaller size as well. And because adding 4 modules of this size would be impractical, so like I said before, you only have 1 drill guide and 1 drawing module. But when you have both and you need more, you can borrow it from its bigger brother, and that will work great. Multiple lengths are very nice for tea rulers, so I consider them a perfect addition to the 600 mm version. But to be honest, because of its quality level, which is on par with the best of the market, and the unique features, around $150, it is an expensive tea ruler. And although it is more affordable than the bigger version, the 600 mm version has a better value because you can practically use its features better and more often. And when you have to choose just one, I would advise spending some extra for the more extended version. But when your budget allows it, and you want to add a smaller version in the same line as its bigger brother, as a bonus, it looks fantastic in your shop. And this is my scoring card. I had designed a holder for these tea rulers, and I wanted something to keep the tea ruler and all the accessories stored in one place, on the wall. So I made this one and used it for some time, and I have to admit that it makes sense to store it all together. And my initial idea was to produce them myself because my laser is now definitely up to that task. But the cost of the acrylic alone is more than 35 euros, and then I have to make it, I have to create packaging and ship it worldwide, so it would turn out to be too expensive. So I tried to produce and ship them directly from Banggood. Unfortunately, we did not manage to make them that much more affordable. However, we decided to just make a small production for those who want to store their lovely tea ruler on the best way possible. Because I realized that because of its price, it will not be a tool for everyone. It's a very convenient holder, and a tea ruler like this should be stored on the wall of your workshop. And the idea is to store all the guide bushings and the 2 drill modules in the holder. When you use this T-ruler with all 4 modules in place, it becomes limited because each modules take up some space. So I use a standard with only the drawing modules because then it creates the most comprehensive range I can use. So if I want to change these modules, I can store the one not in use in my holder. And it's just a perfect solution to keep on track. And we made 2 versions which have completely different appearances. And the acrylic version is shiny and the composite version has a matte surface. However, the edges of the composite version are better finished. The edges of the acrylic version are a bit rough, although you will not notice this when it is on the wall. And I really like both versions, and it is a shame we could not offer it for a better price. The price of the acrylic version is just under $50 and $60 for the composite version. And in my previous video I said that when a product carries my logo, it should at least be good enough for a 5-star rating. And although these are my designs, I want to review and value them like I do with all my China tools. And although the quality is good, the design is perfect, I cannot rate it 5 stars because of the price. But to put things in perspective, this holder for a woodpecker ruler cost $30 in Europe without shipping costs. So you can imagine that this one is more expensive. And all prices include shipping costs to most countries, so it's also not that bad. And this is my scoring card. When I get a product from Hongdui, I always get excited because they are capable of making high quality, innovative and original products. So this product is something we all need in some form, a small ruler. And as always, the packaging is excellent and the quality of the ruler is good, but not on the level of their best products. Even one part, like this small needle, looks badly finished, and that is very rare for Hongdui. And the nice thing about this T-ruler is that it can also function as a caliper. However, its caliper function does not influence its primary function as a small ruler. And it is made from aluminum and the scale and numbers are laser engraved. And because of the color combination, it is not the most clear scale, but you can read it without focusing too much. Because of the caliper function, it is thicker than necessary, but because of its sloped edge, the parallax effect is minimum. And it's a pretty heavy ruler, but because of its weight and design, it feels sturdy and secure when you draw lines. So the weight is not necessarily a bad thing. However, it can be a problem when you want to wear it on you. But in my workwear, it fits perfectly. But because of the big turning knob, it's also easy to grab and place it in and out of my trouser. And the caliper function works well for global measurements. But the few times I could use it, I needed something more accurate than this ruler provided. Initially, I was afraid that I would miss the scale on both sides. But in practice, the scale was on the right side every time. But perhaps this is different when you are left-handed, so keep that in mind. Ultimately, it is a good quality tool, although not on the level of the best products from Hongdui. Hongdui is never cheap, but I think around $32 it is a fair price for what you get. The caliper's function is well designed and it runs smoothly inside the ruler. However, the caliper needle differs from the level I expect from Hongdui, and I've never seen any flaws with Hongdui products before, so I ask myself if this is just a bad example. That said, I can only show what I have. And the question is whether it is a woodworker tool or more a regular ruler for on your desk to use on paper. And personally, I prefer something less heavy to use inside my shop. And because I'm a guy who likes to know the figures behind the commas when it comes to a caliper function, it has not become my favorite ruler in my shop. And this is my scoring card. Well, that was it for this video. I want to thank you for watching and I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. And please remember to subscribe and like my videos, which will boost the video by the YouTube algorithm. And this will be the last video for my summer break. But I wish everyone a very nice holiday and well, we see each other next time.